This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Chad, the gaming dad.
And I'm Tommy.
And before we get started in this interview with Tommy, why don't we tell everybody about Chad's channel?
You want me to tell them about my channel? Okay.
That is correct. I do want you to tell everybody about your channel.
I have a YouTube channel. How about that? Talk about video games and stuff. Yeah, mine's kind of a mixed bag. I go with a lot of different things from, you saw some arcade one-ups and stuff on there, but also all the way back to what we're going to be talking about with Tommy with the Intellivision. There you go. Yeah, there's the Space Spartans one right there. So, yeah, I cover all kinds of stuff, pretty much stuff that I'm into. The funner runs are my reviews, where I will tell you if a game is fun or if you should run. And then I have some other things that I do. You know, there's some flea market stuff there too. A little bit of everything. You know, I can't decide what I want to do, so I just do a little bit of everything. And it's all game stuff, though.
And a little channel called the CHRILLCAST reviewed him a while back, so you know that he's CHRILLCAST certified.
Yes.
Tommy, tell everybody about Video Games Live.
Yeah, Video Games Live is my worldwide touring live concert series. It's been going on for almost 20 years now. Obviously, you know, we did a couple shows at the beginning of the year. We were in Doha, Qatar, in the Middle East, and we did like 3 or 4 shows. And then when the zombie apocalypse went down, you know, the show got put on hold till, but we start up again on January 2nd, we're in Salt Lake City with the Utah Symphony there, and we, you know, kind of do it. It's something, you know, with Intellivision, you know, being obviously my main deal. So I've had to cut way back on the shows. I used to do 40, 50 shows a year around the world. So, you know, one a week basically, in some part of the planet. But so now I cut it down to about like 15, 20 shows a year, and I'll do them like on weekends. So I'll fly out after work on a Friday night, set up Saturday morning, rehearse Saturday afternoon, show Saturday night, get back on a plane, and I'm home by Sunday afternoon again. So that's but yeah, Video Games Live is all the greatest video game music played by a full orchestra and choir, and there's, you know, rock and roll lighting and synchronized video screens and a stage show production, interactive elements with the crowd. I play guitar for parts of it. So yeah, it's really just fun for the whole family. That was my whole goal, was, can we bring families together, whether you've played a video game or not, you know, coming out and having this great appreciation of video games, and also showing how video games are so artistic and culturally significant. So, you know, a lot of the formula I've used in that and the TV shows I've done in the past, all kind of, you know, bringing that together with Intellivision as well.
I just like to remind people that Tommy is a very passionate workaholic.
Yes.
Very passionate.
I don't call it work, though. Is this work? What?
Sure.
You know, performing in front of tens of thousands of people on a week. This isn't work. This is fun. Making video game consoles and being on TV. This is all fun. That's not work at all.
Well, you work very hard at it. I mean, I can't believe you do all of this stuff and still find a way to be sane. It's really cool. So
You're working hard at having fun.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So the other thing, what are you besides the Video Games Live guy? You also are the CEO of what company?
Yes, Intellivision. You see the little running man next to my head right there. Where is he? Oh no, he's on this side. So yeah, I became the CEO and president of Intellivision about 3 years ago, and creating a brand new video game console for families called Amico. Which is the Italian word for friend. But the 4 cornerstones of the company are simple, affordable, family, and entertainment. And those 4 words spell out safe. But yeah, there you go. There's a little bit. Yeah, if you're interested at all, go to our. Yeah, I know that guy. Go to our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of you know, trailers and gameplay footage like this. You know, it's not something that I'm not trying to compete with the PlayStation or Xbox or the Switch or PC gaming. It's really again, it's bringing gaming back to its roots. All of our games have multiplayer couch co-op, either in a versus mode or cooperative mode. There's no online play. It's all in person. So every game has a single player and a multiplayer. All the games are $9.99 or less. It comes with 2 controllers. It's the first video game system in 30 years since the Super Nintendo that actually has 2 separate controllers, and the controllers are very different and unique. You can see them there. They got color touch screen and a dial and speaker, microphone, wireless contact charging, touch screen, force feedback, RFID, LED buttons that light it up, gyroscope, accelerometer. Look, here's one now. And yeah, so it's something that's really unique. And none of our games are violent, or again, it's all family friendly content. So there's no sexual content, nudity.
I'm out.
Bad language. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, later. Yeah. Nice talking to you. And all that stuff. So it really is, the whole idea, concept, like Video Games Live and like these other things I've done, is creating something that brings people together and that they can all play no matter what your skill level. So if you remember 15 years ago, the Wii came out, right? Like my mom bought a Wii, you know, and she could just do this and go bowling, and that's all she ever did. She never bought another game for it. She just kind of, did that, and no one ever really followed up with that. And now, of course, mobile has taken over the hyper casual market, and so so we're kind of that in between, right? From the big 3 consoles and the PC Master Race folks as well. And so you got those that are expensive, very complex, complicated machines, and very solitary, right? Multiplayer gaming, for the most part, on most consoles, because of the internet, now means a kid in a dark room with his headphones on. Obviously, there's exceptions there, but, and then you have mobile, which is like just a complete cash grab. They're designing the games around how much money they can suck out of you. And there's zero curation. There's 40,000 games a week across Android and iOS that came out last year. 2 million games. So
and still xCloud got blocked somehow.
Right? And again, it's a solitary device. So you're like, with the exception of like Jackbox, all the games you're just, you're buried your face in your phone. So we're kind of in between there, right? We have all the hyper casual, and we have arcade and recreational sports and some good shoot 'em ups and stuff like that. So it's really kind of, a system for everyone, whatever you're into. But again, the focus being on families and friends getting together.
Absolutely. So when we want to get started with these questions here, you've answered some of them kind of, but we're going to delve in a little deeper.
Yeah. No, give me the hard ones. Come on, give me some time.
Before we get started, though, did you see what Will's got behind him in his background here?
I see I see Spiderman. Yeah, Spiderman. It's like crotches rubbing up against your neck.
No.
Nice and warm.
I'm a big Spider-Man fan.
Just a little bit, right?
A little bit. I got it. Yeah. I have a Spider-Man room in my house, so that kind of takes it to the next level of creepy. In fact, a funny story. I was dear friends with Stan Lee for many, many years. In fact, the very first Video Games Live show ever was at the Hollywood Bowl with the LA Philharmonic and 12,000 people. And Stan came to that show, and he did the red carpet for me, and he loved it. And he goes, I don't know what any of these games are, but the music sure sounds great, kid. But and the funny part was, though, because we would always we both had AOL email accounts, and so we would always talk, chat over email or talk on our AOL accounts. And so I sent him a picture of my Spider-Man room. And it's so funny because I printed out his response to me and I have it hanging up in the Spider-Man room.
Mhm.
He goes, kid, you got a problem.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, with that being said, the first question I have for you, for those that have not seen anything about the Intellivision Amico yet, what is the shorter version of what you've already said?
The shorter version, I mean, a simple, affordable family entertainment machine that anyone can play no matter what your skill level.
That's perfect. I love that summary.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think you got that next question. I think he's going to
Here's
like
me.
it. I think he's going to like
there,
it.
There's me playing my Intellivision when I was 12.
Awesome. All right, so let's get this one right out of the way. How many times have you asked Sony to license a 2D side-scrolling Spider-Man on the Amico? And any chance you'll get that?
I know, right? So we haven't approached them yet. As you know, they have the exclusive, and so I don't think Spider-Man's, they pay a lot of money for an exclusive, for a reason. So they're not going to be giving us anything anytime soon. Now, that being said, the president of Marvel Publishing, John Nee, is a close personal friend of mine, and so we've had before the zombie apocalypse, I visited him at Marvel in Manhattan. It was back in February. It was during when we were out for Toy Fair. And we spoke about some things, and then recently he's back in Orange County because that's where he lives when he's not working in New York, and he's right down the street from me, actually, a couple miles away, and so we're talking, but obviously Sony, but there might be some ways to potentially put something together with them. So we're certainly talking, but right, that's what you want, right? A 2D Spidey game. Like,
yeah.
Let's do it, so easy. Like, I mean, there's many, actually even Intellivision and Atari, and back in the day, there was some somewhat crappy ones, but there were some good ones though too. And that would be super cool. You remember you guys remember? I know William, you'll probably remember this, but remember the game, arcade game, Jungle King.
Ooh,
remember we swung on the vines? It was also called Jungle Hunt.
Yes, I do remember this.
Yeah. Remember you're swinging from vine to vine, and like you can see something like that with Spider-Man. Like doing stuff and going over. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
It's on the top of my list. Trust me.
Who would be the main villain for that game? Who would be?
I mean, you got to
go
with Green Goblin, right?
Okay.
But I would go with classic. I would go with classic Romita Senior art.
Okay.
That he was my favorite because there it is. Look at that guy.
Absolutely.
quick, man. CHRILLCAST is quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just put Spider-Man in there, and you have to shoot your web too. It's like you're there. Put it in the city. Get that stupid hat and shorts off the dude, and there you go into the water. Then you're fighting. Maybe you can stab Aquaman in here. We'll do a DC crossover.
And then at the end, when you take off the mask, it's Tommy's face.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean that was always the the Spider-Man I grew up on, and the people who would have grown up on Intellivision, remember the Spider-Man comics from the 80s. And again, Romita Sr. was, to me, my favorite personal Spidey. Here, I got something for you. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Talk amongst
Anticipation's
yourselves.
killing me.
I think I know what he's gonna show us.
So anyway, I wanted to just, quickly, maybe I should just do see, this is a Romita Senior mask right here. I have many, but this is the classic 80s mask. So there you go. It's kind of creepy.
Awesome.
I think I saw that in a Twitter post. You said you're gonna wear that.
Yeah, this is my COVID mask. Yeah. That's what I wear. I'm like, okay, you guys gonna make me wear a mask? Well, I hope you don't mind this one.
Very cool.
All right, so I guess it's coming up to me. I have a question. It says, are you going to have original versions? I know you've said that you're going to have some remakes, things on the Amico from the Intellivision. Are they going to come with original versions also? Like you could hit a button and maybe you're actually playing. This is one of my favorites. Is Space Spartans?
So a funny.
Can I add one thing to that question real quick?
The two guys who made that game, Space Spartans, you look in the credits, you'll see William Fisher, Bill Fisher, and Steve Roney. Yeah. Both those guys still work at Intellivision. They started in 1981.
Well, you can tell them I said thanks, because this is one of my favorite ones that I've had ever since I like you, was in those same pictures, sitting in front of the Intellivision.
You have to send me, if you have a picture, send it to me.
You're not the only one with prizes here today. I have an actual.
Hey.
But I have heard that you don't like this one as much.
Nah, I mean, I think it looks cool. It just plays like crap.
But this doesn't work on it.
And the side buttons are hard little chiclets.
Yeah,
like
and the buttons here were always tough as a kid. But this is the beautiful thing with the original old hardware, why I like retro stuff too. Is that thing still works? It's got 79 on the back of it, and it still works.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have I probably have about 20 different Intellivision models here, and everything from the Japanese version to some stuff that never even actually prototype models and stuff like that. But yeah, every one of them. The power unit went out on me. But aside from that, and sometimes you got to clean the pads where the disc and replace the plastic depending on how well they were played. But it's solid stuff, right? I mean, it's really good.
It works better.
Why is he wearing pink? What the heck was this?
We're going back to Jungle Hunt.
I don't remember the pink boots and the pink shirt. I must have never made it this far, but very stylish.
So you have some that are coming. I saw a thing that said Bomb Squad.
Oh yeah. So by the way, the other game that those guys did before Space Spartans was B-17 Bomber. So those are the two guys that did that as well. What we're going to do is we have to be really careful because we're launching a brand new console. And so we don't want people to think that it's some kind of like flashback unit or, the NES Mini or SNES Mini. Oh, there you go. And so we will eventually release those titles, and it'll be cool now because instead of the overlays like you see you're putting in there, of course you'll have those right on the screen now. But yeah, that's something that we'll probably do in at the end of the year 2, going into year 2 of the console, because we just don't want there to be any confusion out there. Right. And we don't want people reviewing this stuff because there's been a million things like that already, and gosh, that looks like a TIE fighter.
It really does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. When they come in from the side, they don't, but then they turn and then they
Can I add one thing?
I get it. I understand what you're saying. I just hope that as an original Intellivision kid, that was my first console I ever got. Was the one that I was held up. Yeah. I would love to be able to have some of these, like the remakes.
They'll all be coming out eventually, but we're just not going to launch now. That being said, we might even put a little Easter egg.
That's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah, we might. We're all about the Easter eggs here. I mean, this is all about the Easter eggs. And so there might be a few Easter eggs here and there. That I can tell you.
So you mentioned, I think it was in an OEB Pete video, Open Every Box Pete, shout out to him, that you might have playable versions on the controllers of old Intellivision games. Is that still something you're thinking about?
Again, yeah, that was just kind of that would be like a cool a cool little Easter egg. The controllers really, the memory to keep the price down. I mean, these aren't like by any means like the chips inside are like not a powerhouse or anything like that, right? So but it's enough to, get animations going on this and that. So, but those old games, as you know, were really simple and easy to put on there. So, wouldn't it be cool to, or as I say, wouldn't it be something to, where you could actually play a little game on this as you're bringing it to your friend's house or something like that. But, nothing's confirmed yet. But because, we don't want to run out, I don't want to promise anything and then we run out of space and then because of the firmware, this and that, and then I bum people out. But that's what we're going for.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, Chad, but I did want to add that on there because you had made a quick little mention of that in one of Pete's videos. So I wasn't sure. Cool. I wasn't sure if you were like speculating you might be able to do it in the future or if you were talking about potentially on launch you would already have it.
No, I understand the launch thing. I just hope to get it eventually. I want to play some new stuff too, but I love the old stuff as well. So
I'm just waiting for the Amico voice add-on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we need an Amico voice.
Well, if you had like the computer stuff, and then you had the carts where you could play all the Atari carts, and then they had the play cable where you could hook up. Intellivision was so far ahead of its time where you could hook up a play cable to it, and Mickey Mantle, the number 7 Hall of Famer for the New York Yankees, was our spokesman for the play cable. And if you hook that play cable up to your cable TV, it actually was a subscription service. So for $12 a month, you could download one game at a time and play all like the Intellivision libraries for free. It was so freaking cool. That was 30 years ahead of their time. People talking about Google Stadia. It's like, yeah, we did it 40 years ago.
That's before the Sega Channel even, right?
Yeah, before Sega Channel. Everyone thinks the Sega Channel was the first, but it's not true. And but the funny thing is, if you had like your Intellivision, your IntelliVoice, your play cable, your cartridge thing, your Intellivision could literally be about 7 feet long. And then at the end, the cartridge.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's good.
So here's the next question. I know you've kind of gone through this, but I've got kind of more of a controller question here. So what type of material is the controller made out of, and will we be able to purchase additional controllers and maybe a charging stand after the launch?
Yeah, so you'll definitely be able to purchase separate controllers at launch, and we'll have a variety of colors as well. As you may know, we have 5 machines that we're launching with, 5 different color combinations. The base units are glacier white, which is kind of like what this controller is for, and graphite black, which is over my shoulder right there. I have it sitting on a stand right there, but those are the two base models. And then we have special editions, which we really put more love and care into in regards to the materials, there's for example, that's the Galaxy Purple. That's one's currently exclusive on GameStop. I love how there's reviews on the thing, and we're 7 months or 6 months from launch.
I get emails weekly from GameStop asking me to review this because I have a pre-order.
Oh, cool!
So really? I keep getting how do
you review something you don't have yet?
It's terrible. I don't have it yet.
Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's probably why we got. How do we even have 3 stars?
Yeah. This thing won't turn on.
I can't. It because why? It's not out yet. Okay. But
it's still doing better than Atari right now.
What's that?
The Atari reviews are far worse.
Oh, I can imagine. My God. And then we have a vintage wood grain, which I know William's going to probably be all over. So the materials. So you'll be able to buy, like, if you want a wood grain controller and you have the black machine, you can buy that. And also the other thing to remember, guys, is that we have here's the controller here, right? But I also, because we want people to be able to play without getting too expensive. So this is my mobile device. So we have the mobile app as well, and it's free. You just download our mobile app. It's called Amico Club. You can actually download it now. The controller won't be there, but you can play the full first level of our Moon Patrol remake. It's really cool. There he goes. He's got it up.
Upside down, apparently.
Yeah, upside down, but that's okay. And so, yeah, so that's, so you can connect up to 8 controllers, and the hardware controllers, the actual Amico controllers, they connect Bluetooth, and the mobile app controllers connect Wi-Fi. So just to be to be clear on that. Now, honestly, like, these are great for card games and dice games and board games and certain games as well. Like Missile Command isn't too bad on this either. But really for like the action games, like your Night Stalkers and Moon Patrols and stuff like that, like you're really going to want to, use the hardware controller for sure. But it's nice when, a group of people come over and people can just, whip out their mobile devices, download it, and, play some of the party games, which is really cool. So the material that makes this up, this actual unit right here is a 3D printed one. Let me see if I have, hold on, check if I have the final ones. No, I don't. Those are the prototypes as well, but we have the final plastic ones, but we ship all of those out because of COVID. We've had to hand make every single. We have over about 700 different things in our BOM. BOM stands for Build of Materials, BOM. Yeah. And there's over 700 things on that list, little components, little pieces of plastic, metal, whatever, chips, boards, everything. And so we've actually, and we have a team of engineers in-house. We have mechanical engineers and product managers and designers and hardware engineers and firmware engineers, teams of people, all internal. And we have a few contractors as well on the outside that help that do some firmware stuff with us. But the amazing thing is we're literally having, so we have all like the first shot plastics, all that stuff is ready to go, and so we're hand building them. There you go. That's an example of me using the controller, your mobile device as a controller. Like in a game like Spades, where four people can be playing at once. There you can see it there, and you touch the screen and it's moving around, and and again, that's the app. So I just wanted to show how look how easy it is to join in and play a fun card game or whatever. There it is there. Yeah, pretty neat. But yeah, so there's so yeah, I mean, it's the back of it is a plastic, a really high quality plastic too, and the front of this is polycarbonate. So that means and this is a capacitive touch screen, so you can see it kind of working and how responsive it is, right, like there. And so the cool thing is that when you have there's resistive touch and capacitive touch. Resistive touch was like the original.
And the DS had that.
The DS, yeah, where you had to kind of push down, and so we went with the higher quality capacitive touch. But the thing is that most which all your mobile device cell phones have. But the problem is you drop the thing and it's cracked, right? And this needs to be super sturdy. I mean, if you saw our funny
that was a great
really
video.
Funny.
Wasn't that funny?
That was great.
but we were actually those were actually the real controllers that we were whipping around, and when I was dropping it from 10 feet up, you could see it was still working, and I literally did strap it to the engine of my Ferrari and get up to about 200 kilometers an hour. So it was like real heat testing. We put it in the slingshot and let it go. Like a lot of that stuff was, actually real. And then of course at the end when we blew it up, that was real too. But I don't know. I'll tell you a funny story about that. Is that so? We were doing the last shot of the day. You could see it was nighttime, and we were all sitting around the fire, and so we're like, okay, what we'll do is the last shot. Everybody's like roasting marshmallows, but I'll be roasting, but I'll be roasting the Amico controller, and I'll put it in there, and I don't know where. Let me see. It would be called announcement trailer. Just put in Amico announcement trailer.
It's on the videos on here.
Oh yeah,
right?
there it is. It's on. You go to the videos, and it's the one that's slingshot. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. I see it now.
Yeah. And so you see us, and it was funny because I'm like, we're like, we'll put the controller in the fire, and then maybe it'll like catch fire and like start to melt and stuff. But the reality is that I put it in the fire, and then like nothing happened. Yeah, there it is there. And like everybody's got the marshmallows going, and it's like I put it in there, and like nothing happened. So Mike Costco, the guy right there with the glasses who's talking right now in the middle, he's our lead engineer, hardware engineer. And this is a guy who worked on Black Hawk helicopters before coming to work with us in Intellivision. So he's like, and we recorded this on July 5th. And there it goes, boom. And that's all. There's not a single effect there. You can see the sparks sparking and everything. And so what happened is he's like, well, look, I got a bunch of fireworks left over from last night. Why don't we like open up a bunch of bottle rockets? And he had like big ones too. He's like, why don't we open up a bunch and we'll just stuff the thing with gunpowder or whatever it is they use. They don't use gunpowder, but it's same. And so then the guy who is checking all the boxes, that's Todd, who's our one of our mechanical engineers and product design guys. But yeah, that's the real controller right there. That's you can see the you can see it all dropping, and you can hear the plastic and the polycarbonate all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But so we stuff it full of the of gunpowder, and then we tried it again, and it's like, it didn't catch. We're like, damn it. So we poked a hole in the bottom of it so it started leaking out, and this was actually a real controller too. We tore it up with a lawnmower. That's John Alvarado. He's our one of our big, look at that, boom, and the screen was on and everything. We just completely destroyed it. I added a few sound effects in there. This is a park by my house, and we had a little GoPro camera we put on the end of it, and boink, and then that's our head of customer service. So that's really in flight, and then you can see the guy go down in the back. That's Kevin Strom. That's Kevin there. He's like, is it okay? Is it okay? And the controller. Watch him put his foot on his chest there. That was pretty funny. A lot of people didn't catch that. This is the Bonaventure Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. It's really a kind of famous hotel. We just strapped it to a thing. Then we went to a karate a dojo. And again, this was real. We had a real controller, and we put the we put a knife right, or whatever that thing is. I forget what it is. It's got the official name of that sword, and yeah, you can hear it just crack right in half. It was epic. So we put it in, and when you see it, when I first put it in, you can see it go whoof, like that, and that was all the gunpowder that we put all around it, and then we just waited there. We're like, is something going to happen? This is my horse, well, my wife's horse. That's me on I had my drone out, and the DJI, and yeah, that's right by my house. It's in the mountain. That's my wife on the horse there, and so yeah, we had my horse is named Rocky, like Rocky Balboa.
Yep.
And then this is one of the cars, and that's Mike again. And again, we really had it, that was really, I just put it right on there. That's not an effect or anything like that. You can see it shaking around. Look at the spinning, the dial the dial, the disc is spinning because it was going so fast. Look at it. It's pretty cool. And the thing was super hot. I mean, when we got out of the car after filming, because I had a camera in the back of my car as well, and that's the speedometer, so you can see me going, you know, almost 300 kilometers, and I was just like 200 miles an hour. But now this was faked. This is this we really didn't strap it to a rocket, but that's CG right there. But it's great CG because we built the straps right onto the rocket too, and you can see when it releases, the straps release, and you can see the thing fly away, like right. So that was a really good computer effect, computer graphics effect there. It's like, ooh, and then the next scene you'll see everything falls away, the strap and that was all CG.
Yeah, I thought that was
pretty awesome.
And then there you go. Back to the but watch when I first, because I stuck this stick in there and there was gunpowder all over this stick, and you'll notice I'm not wearing goggles or anything like that. Everybody else has like protective gear on. I'm like, nah, let's see what happens. And
what's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, right. And then watch when I first put it in, it goes like, boom. See that? And we're like, please do something, please. Boom! It was like a couple seconds, and you can see the sparks and everything, and it left a mark on the table. You can see the burn mark in the upper left corner of that marble, and of course it hit our cameraman, and the cameraman was on fire. The producer,
oh my gosh,
director Scott, but he didn't move because he, you know, and I'm like, and then after he checked the box, I'm like, Scott, go like this, you know. He's like, I know. He's like, I know, my shoulder was on fire, but I didn't want to move the camera because it would have ruined the perfect shot we just got.
That was the first thing I thought of. Brave cameraman standing there letting shrapnel hit him.
Oh, he's amazing. He's the guy who's doing Bomb Squad for us, in fact.
Cool.
You saw him in our Amico event.
He has experience.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Can you imagine that the doctor's like, what happened in Intellivision Amico?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What is this disc in your forehead? It's just the controller.
All right. I think Will's got that next question, right?
Yeah. All right. So this one's about physical media.
Yeah.
So you've hinted at this before. Is there any new information that you can give us? And is it going to be similar to the technology that Nintendo uses in things like their amiibos?
It could be similar to that, but cooler.
Of course.
And also, it doesn't have to be just one thing. Yeah, we're going to be announcing and showing some physical media stuff by the end of the year. So we're doing a big announcement and a big video release based on it. And but you know, I guess what I could share is that like William's gonna love, so we're doing different types of things, right? And collector, and it's all based around collecting and collectors. There's nothing boring about any of the physical media that we're doing. And so if you're an old school Intellivision fan, you're gonna love what we're doing. If you're a little kid who likes collecting things, you're gonna love what we're doing. If you're just a collector, like collecting things, you're gonna love what we're doing. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. But the thing that I want to clarify as well too is that in order to play an Intellivision Amico game, the console does not have to be connected to the internet. So it's not like some kind of cloud gaming device or you know, anything like that. In fact, you don't need to be connected to the internet ever at all. You know, you can take it on a camping trip with you, bring a generator and play play right there. But in order to log your high scores, not locally, because you can log all your high scores locally, but the leaderboards and everything on the our worldwide leaderboards, that you do have to be connected to the internet. You'd have to have a Wi-Fi connection, and in order to download the physical media, you'll also need an internet connection as well. But to be clear, you can't. So you say, well, that kind of sucks. That isn't really physical media, but again, to be clear, What's very different is if I wanted to, like let's say you wanted to sell that on eBay, or you wanted to give it to a friend, you can do that. It'll disconnect from your machine, and then you can give it to somebody else. So it's exactly like a Blu-ray. It's exactly the same thing, right? If you buy Call of Duty and you put it in your machine and then you have it for 3 months, then you take it out and then you give it to somebody else, they then own the physical media and they play it on your machine. You can't still play it on yours, right? So it's
because they'd have to be physically near the console.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense. That's what I was kind of wondering about that too, because the physical media aspect has me very intrigued, because I haven't seen too many people try that strategy.
No, it's going to be. I mean, I think it's cool, but I'm biased as hell. So what the hell? Don't listen to me. I think
just
it's cool.
to be clear, the games that you buy are going to come like on a card or something that you have to keep near it, and then it NFCs it into the machine.
A card is so boring, though.
I know, but just to make it simple, yeah.
Simplify the aspect, the idea.
Yeah, no, you would just have to tap it once. You wouldn't have to be near it. You just tap it.
But if you were to tap it to another machine, it would disconnect your machine. That's what you're saying.
You'd have to disconnect it from your machine first.
Okay.
And then so that it would work on a different machine.
So the item knows that it's been tapped until it's untapped, and then it can go to the next thing.
Correct. Now, here's the other cool thing, though, guys, is that let's say I go over your house, right? And I bring my controller for my machine, okay? So this is my controller is attached, and the serial numbers are attached to my machine. I bring my controller over your house. Because it's my controller and it knows all of the games on my machine, we can now play all of my games that I've bought, and we can play them on your machine for free, as long as my controller is, tapped or attached with your machine. So I can bring it over, I connect it, I put it in the base, and it connects it. Oh, Tommy's at your house now, right? And I might say to you, hey, have you played the new Moon Patrol game? You're like, no, I haven't checked that out yet. Oh, check it out here. Boom, and it downloads it on your machine, and it stays there until I disconnect my controller. How cool is that?
That's awesome. Really cool.
That is really cool. It reminds me of like when the Xbox profiles actually had a way to transport on the memory cards when they first launched.
Right? Remember
you could actually
exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And you could actually download your stuff if your profile was on the memory cards. That's kind of like that. But this seems like it's better.
Yeah.
With profiles attached to a controller, that'd be awesome.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing too, is that I'm going to need my controller to play my machine back at home, right?
So you're not going to leave it there.
Yeah, you're not going to want to leave it there, because then I won't be able to play those games that are being played on that console, right? So people I'm sure will try to work how to game the system, and that's okay, whatever. It's like all of our games are between the average is about anywhere from like $6 to $7, $9.99 or less for the digital versions. The physical versions will probably be twice that amount, around $19.99, which again isn't bad, right?
That's just like limited run games when they bring stuff to from digital to physical. They almost always double the price. Like I think Oceanhorn was a $15 game, and then if you bought it physically, it was $30. So that just makes sense. It's in line with
Limited
the industry.
Games is a very awesome company. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Are you guys kind of working with them a little bit, or are you just okay? All right.
If I could, I couldn't tell you right now.
Understand.
How's that for an answer?
There you go. I think Chad's got the next one.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of, I don't know. We've already talked about some of this, so I'll kind of shorten it a little bit. But you'd already talked about how you're not trying to compete necessarily with the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox and all that. But with your console, you're going to have to convince not only the people who are the casual players, like you said, like your parents, my parents, they also bought a Wii and didn't buy anything else. So you're going to have to convince them, but then to really make this go crazy, you're going to want the guys that have the PS5s and stuff to also buy this.
Not really.
No?
Not really. No.
What's the killer app though? That's the real question. Is what's
the killer app's the machine itself.
Yeah.
For a family, like let's say you're a mom in the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a video game system that you can play with your kids,
Mm-hmm.
and all the games are $9.99 or less, and there's no in-app purchases, no loot boxes,
Mhm.
no microtransactions, no in-app advertising, and every single game is family friendly. No violence, blood, this and that. To a Midwest mom,
Mm-hmm.
that is the killer app. The machine itself. That
So
concept,
you're sort of like anti-industry trends is sort of like the idea.
absolutely, my friend. Exactly. You nailed it. We're doing something so different and unique, but but if you think about what we're doing, guys, all I'm doing is bringing back the way games used to be when we were all growing up,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
That simplicity, that playing together. I guarantee each one of you, if you remember back to your favorite gaming memories,
Mhm.
I guarantee it was when you were playing with other people.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
100%.
Maybe it was GoldenEye on the N64 with your buddies, or Bomberman, or Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, or William might have been baseball with his dad, or what? You know what I mean? Like our
Or Pod
fond
Racer yesterday
memory.
with Will.
Yeah.
We played
There
Star
you go,
Wars
right?
Pod Racer yesterday. That was fun.
Yeah.
Couch
and,
co-op.
and it seems like we're seeing less and less and less of that, as we go. So that's our killer app, if you will. But to get, because I don't want to dismiss your initial thought there about the hardcores.
Mhm.
It's like, but you got to get the hardcores. Here's some numbers that are going to blow your mind.
Mhm.
There's 200 million hardcore gamers in the world. That's a big number, 200 million. That's if you add up all the PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and again, the PC Master Race. If you add up those four categories, now let's throw in Google Stadia in there. Let's throw in there 10,000 people. If you, so mean.
Yeah.
So true, though.
It's
No,
not entirely inaccurate.
I love all the people over there who run Google Stadia. They're all very dear friends of mine. Phil Harrison and I mean, so I wish him luck. I'm just joking around there, but I hope it works out great. But so you add up all of those hardcore gamers, and that's 200 million people, right? Pretty impressive number, but there's 3 billion people that play video games, not who own phones. 3 billion people that play video games. So as big as we think the Switch is, as an example, like, wow, the Switch is like super big. There's 55 to 60 million units out there of that machine. PlayStation 4, 110 million units. So impressive, right? The Switch, 55 million units compared to 3 billion people. That means, William, that less than 2% or around 2% of people who play video games in the world, out of all the people who play video games every day in the world, only 2% of them are playing on a Nintendo Switch. And out of all the people in the world that play video games every day, if you add up the 200 million, all the consoles and PCs, that accounts for less than 7%. So you see where I'm going with this is, look, I didn't want to create something to go for those 200 million people that everybody else is already going for, right?
Mhm.
I mean, think about it. I'm not insane. I'm not over here drinking my own Kool-Aid thinking that like I have the infrastructure and pocketbook and budgets of Sony, of Microsoft, of Google, of Nintendo. Like, come on, I don't have $100 million to market. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, we're not building a $500 PlayStation 5 or whatever it's going to be, right? Xbox Series X. I can't compete with those guys in graphics. I can't compete with them in technology. I can't compete with them in infrastructure. I can't compete with them in marketing, but I can compete with them in ideas. And the audiences that we're going for, those 93% of other people who do not play games on those systems, that's who we're going for. 93%. And you ask yourself a question, how come those 93%, what are those 2.8 billion people that aren't playing video games on home consoles? Ask yourself the question, why? Well, I don't have to ask because I have all the data. We've done our own focus test ourselves, and there's these reports that are out there that you can purchase and everything. And guys, they all say the same exact things. What are those 2.8 billion people? Why don't they have PlayStations and Xboxes and Switches? Same reasons. One, it's too complicated. The controllers are too... My mom or dad cannot pick up a PlayStation or Xbox controller. They can't do it. It's a non-starter. Same thing with the Switch. Say, well, but you can split it in half and it's like this little thing. Yeah, even worse. Seriously, for my dad, great, little kids, it's fine. But for seniors and for non-gaming parents, it's too complex. One. Two, it's too expensive. Again, think of a family of four who just wants to play, let's say, a PlayStation 4 game. They don't have any console at all, and they're a family of four, and they want to say, you know what, let's play a 4-player game together. Okay, great. So you're going to buy a PlayStation 4, maybe you get the Pro, it's like $350, $400. Now you need 3 extra controllers for it. Those are, $60 if you want to get the real ones, or maybe you get the knockoffs and whatever, and you get them on sale. Again, but they're going to be $40, $50. So that's another $200 with tax, right? So now you're up to $600, and now you have to start buying the games, and $30, $40 each. So for a family of four, and again, let's say middle America. I use middle America not as a state, like more of like just like the average non-gamer, let's say, right? I keep saying middle America. I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean? Because they could be in Europe, they could be in Canada, they could be on the coast, they could be in California, whatever. So the average hyper casual or non-gamer, right? And you say, are they going to spend $700? And then mom doesn't even like the controls, And so that's our play. That's the big thing, is that we're appealing to folks who actually never even get targeted to, Seniors are a perfect example. Say, people, 50 and over. Not that 50 is a senior, but like I'm 52. So but Gen Xers who grew up on this stuff, right? And who maybe kind of fell out of gaming. They felt like gaming left them behind a little bit, right? Like all these games are like, like I'm a hardcore gamer. Like I sat down with Red Dead 2, and it's like you start to feel guilty. It's like, my God, like, when you get, the older you get, it's like, gosh, I have, my wife wants to go out, and the kid wants to do something, and the dog wants to go for a walk, and you have all these like responsibilities the older you get, and you want to spend time with your family, and then you feel guilty sitting in your man cave playing Red Dead 2 for 6 hours on a weekend, right? And so when you think of it, when you get to be a certain age, we're not selling guilt. Now think about time with your family. You don't feel guilty spending time with your family. It's what we all, there's Gandalf. It's what it's Saruman. No, it's what we it's what we're selling. We're selling time together with your family, because that's not something that you feel guilty about. And our games aren't 6, 7, 10-hour things here, right? You can be in and out in 20 minutes, half hour, switch games, go from game to, maybe you play, some Missile Command like you see here on screen, 4-player Missile Command. Though you can play co-op or versus. So how cool is that? So you can have up to like 8 people playing all defending the same set of cities, 8 people at once, or you can play up to 4 people against each other. And that's you see that screen there. That's 4 different people. So you each have like 4 cities each, and they're in the corners of the thing. And so not only are you defending from missiles, but you're the ones sending over to your buddies. So it's cool. It's really kind of really fun. And look how smooth it all works, right? Look how smooth so just to be clear, the way this works, because the old game, it was a rollerball. Now think about that game. Think about using Missile Command with an Xbox controller. How would you do it? You'd have to put the reticle on the analog stick, right? You wouldn't want to put it on the D-pad. That would really suck. But even the analog stick, remember, that thing is always pulling back to center, right? So trying to play a game like Missile Command on an analog stick or on a modern controller, let's face it, kind of sucks. But with Amico, what you're doing is we've replaced the rollerball, and so you're playing with the screen and you're firing. This now becomes the button. The disc becomes the button. So if you want to shoot from the center one, you hit that. It's a multi-directional button. If you want to shoot from the left or shoot from the right, and then if you hit down, it just will choose the closest missile base, the closest one. So you don't even have to think about it if you want. But how cool is that? Where now your thumb, and we have videos. You can see the Missile Command. You can see people playing it on the controller, and you can see playing it on a mobile device. And we have a whole video of just that, showing Missile Command. And again, you saw how smooth it is. So all you do is, it's almost like a mouse at a certain point, right? It's so smooth. You're moving it, and then you're powering using the disc now as a directional button. Pretty cool.
It's sounding better and better the more you keep telling me about it. So
just keep going, man.
Right? Yeah, that exactly though. But that is a great question, because that is a concern, that a lot of people might have, is say, but Tommy, how are you going to compete with those other 4? I say it like this. This is how I use the comparison of this. When you think of Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, let's compare it to like an automobile, right? Those guys have the greatest, fastest, most expensive technology. So they're like the Formula One cars of the world, right? Their consoles are like the Formula One cars. And by the way, Formula One cars, most are single seaters, right? But they get you from point A to point B fastest in the world, right? We're not trying to build a Prius to their formula car. What we've done is we're building the bicycle to there. See, the bike gets you from point A to point B as well, but you can take a whole bunch of friends along with you. You can feel the sunlight on your face. You can hear the sounds around you. It's a different experience, completely different experience. And so that's really kind of, think of us a little bit like that, where it's, I'm not trying to imitate what they're doing, but for less money. We have a completely different ecosystem, a completely different, very unique approach, a unique, simple, easy to use controller. So we're really trying to differentiate ourselves from everything that's been done over the last, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm not going to try to promote myself, but it's funny that you say bicycle, because my last video I just did was me complaining about I strapped a GoPro on my bike and took a ride through the woods on a trail, and I was basically saying why I don't like the new systems, because they ask too much of us.
No way! That's so crazy, right? That's so fun.
I watched that whole video. Funny. I'll have you know.
Yeah,
that's great. I got to check. Well, I'm definitely subscribing to the channel. Look at Evil not having a good time there in London. Oh, ouch!
My video looked like that for a minute, but all it was my GoPro fell off when I hit a bump.
I was gonna say,
I was so
hope
worried.
There wasn't anything like that. That's Evil Knievel's eldest son, Kelly Knievel, who's working with us on the Evil Knievel game.
Yeah, when I saw your GoPro fall off your thing, I literally thought you crashed. I was like, oh no, Chad's going down.
Continued meme on there too. I got a little bit of the roundabout from Yes, and you know how they do that in the videos that you see on YouTube. I thought it was too funny. My kids, they just wanted to watch it over and over again.
That's right.
It's just luckily I was wearing a little lav mic so I could be heard well when I was riding the bike, and that's what it dangled off of when I hit the bump.
Man.
It grabbed it and clipped it back on. I was good. So.
Cool.
All right, I got the next question for you.
One last thing that
I
just thought of too. Sorry about the mobile thing, because people say, yeah, but 3 billion people play mobile, but they're not spending money on any of those games. So is that going to be a challenge as well? What people don't realize, do you know what the average spend per year, average, just in the United States is per year?
It's over 100.
Or sorry, $92.
I was gonna say it's like $100, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it fluctuates every year. Yeah, so it's around $100. That's the average person. So this whole misnomer about, oh, people don't spend money on mobile. Yeah, right. You know, they certainly do if the average is $100. So again, you know, we're offering something that's you just have to buy the game once, and you never have to worry about buying tickets or coins or any of that crap.
Well, I don't let my kids play games on phones because they got the gotcha games where they try to get you to buy, you know?
Exactly. So. And we hear, and again, see that one thing you said, that's the kind of stuff that we hear all the time from parents who are like either casual or hyper casual or non-gamers. They don't want their kids playing video games all day long. And I got news for you. I'm the first CEO that you'll probably ever hear say the following words. I don't think kids should play video games all day either. You know, like all of us when we were growing up, we had very balanced lives, didn't we? Like we went outside and played with our friends. We read comic books. We read books. We watched TV. We played board games with our mom and dad, and we were very balanced. And yeah, we played video games as well. But again, you see some of the, you know, the younger generation or kids who are, you know, in their early teens now who grew up on devices, and it's you know, it's getting a little scary, right? It's you know, so you'll hear me, CEO video game company, say I don't think kids should play video games all the time, and that's why, you know, a lot of our games are quick, fun, you know, experiences like this Evil Knievel game right here. It's a simple, fun thing. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, you know. We just want people to have fun, and it's real. Actually, this game is really fun because the crashes are so funny and all the ragdoll physics, and like it's one of those games where you don't mind watching other people play it. Now we do have a 4-player mode as well. Up to 4 people can play it, but it's one of those things where you just laugh your ass off when somebody else is crashing. It's just one of those.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I remember that statistic about the mobile, because that's people sometimes counter to it, is to say, yeah, but no one spends money on mobile. It's like, you don't, you know, read the reports that are out there.
No one likes to admit they spend money on mobile.
Exactly.
What it
Yeah,
is.
exactly. And guys don't. Women are more likely to be the ones who spend money.
What I will say is this: Super Mario Run is a perfect example of how mobile games can make money. Because Super Mario Run was one of those like $10 games where it was like everybody, you could buy it. There was no other in-app purchases. Like people were actually buying that game.
People with Mario Kart, right?
They did. Oh, 100%.
Started on that.
I'm not going that way. I wasn't going that way. I was just saying that Super Mario Run is a perfect example of a game that is fully contained in one purchase. That's all I was saying.
And $9.99. Right?
Exactly.
There you go.
So the next question, it has to do with pricing. It says, with games ranging from $2.99 to $9.99 on average, will there be single-player focused narrative games? And is there going to be a game as big as other first-party titles, or is the Amico focused on shorter games with quality gameplay?
Yeah, we're really focused on shorter games. But that being said, if something, and I say this now, like on launch and for next year, like all the games are $9.99 or less. But I never want to limit our developers, right? So if they come up with some kind of like epic, RPG, storytelling RPG thing, and they say, hey, Tommy, this thing's going to be 2 gig. And it's going to be a 40-hour simple 2D, like maybe like the original Zelda or something, whatever, the NES version or something, where it's going to be that style of thing. And in order for like it to all make sense and for people to make money, that we have to sell this thing at $14.99. I'm not opposed to any of that. Not opposed to any of that at all. Right now, we don't have anything in the works for that, but I feel that that's going to happen, naturally as this thing comes out, and that'll be fun, right? It'll be fun. Now, do I think we're going to sell games at $30 a pop, digital downloads? Hell no. But if something comes out $12.99, $14.99, then that'll be, as a digital download, that'll be, pretty cool.
So you guys are hoping to have bigger games in the future at some point.
I think it'll happen. Yeah.
Okay. Will's got that next question.
I have the next one. All right, so a big push for the Amico is the couch co-op experience.
Yeah.
You kind of already answered this, and like I feel like I'm already sold on this. But how do you think it's gonna be better than the other consoles? Like obviously most of them have moved away, but they do have some games that are couch co-op.
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up because, and glad to hear that you're starting to turn the corner here. Because I saw your guys' first thing, and you were apprehensive. Which, by the way, no, but that's totally fine. Of course, that's why I love having these conversations with everyone, giving more information, because the more people hear about it, it's like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. So I appreciated all of your concerns and questions. At the time, and that's and you were respectful about it. That was the cool thing, right? You weren't just trying to it's like, I don't know, this and that. So hopefully we'll see where we end by the end of this, but
okay.
maybe we'll get you on board. But now what the hell was your question? I forgot.
How's the couch?
couch co-op.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. So great question. So I'll give you an example. I was saying like, okay, what's a cool couch co-op? Look, watch how quick it turns on there. Boom. Now you're in the menu. That's just a prototype menu for now, but that's roughly what the idea, the concept behind, being able to see the game, as you're choosing it in your library is pretty cool. It's not just an icon or a JPEG. It's the actual video of the game in these little, the games are all like little globes and stuff. But anyway, so I'll give you a real life experience here. So I was saying to my friends, because people will say, well, Switch is probably the best console right now for couch co-op. I would agree with that. And you say to people, well, give me a couch co-op game. Like what's a simple couch co-op game that I can play with my mom, dad, my friends, my wife, this and that, who aren't into video games, And everyone's like, oh, Overcooked. That's a good one, right? That's a good starter game that people
I didn't
would
like
say.
that game at all.
What's that?
I did not like Overcooked at all.
So here's the thing, guys. I sit my wife down. We say, okay, we're gonna play a simple, casual game on the Switch, couch co-op casual. And the first thing my wife says was, "So wait, we have to cook and clean dishes?" She's like, "I don't like to do that in real life. Why the hell would I want to do it in a video game?" And it's like, again, the male mentality. It's like, wow, yeah, that's a pretty good point. And then there's the original producer of Moon Patrol who's working with us as well, and one of our advisors, and he was the former president of Nintendo in the U.S. their internal development team, and he's the guy who was responsible for Wave Race 64. So there you go, working with Intellivision right now. Hello, we got some AAA folks on the team. That's the other thing about our team, by the way, and our company that's very different than companies like Ouya and Atari and the rest. We have over 600 years of experience, video game experience, just on our core executive team. 600 years. We got the guy who, you know, helped create the Xbox, Jay Allard. We got the folks like, the gentleman you see here. So, I mean, you know, and marketing people and David Perry's and the, all these folks. So anyway, getting back to co-op. And then the other thing is, you know, there's that 2-minute countdown timer. And again, to a guy, it's like, oh my God, we have to make all this stuff. But to my wife, she was just like, why does everything have to be under pressure all the time? Like panic mode, panic mode, panic mode. Like, I just want to like relax and unplug. And you can see that mentality of why a game like Candy Crush is so big, right? You can just kind of unplug. You don't have to think about it too much. You don't have to like plan 8 moves ahead, like chess or anything. You know, it's just kind of like you get that little quick endorphin hit, boom, 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 right? And so that mentality is something. So you think about couch co-op games on all of those big systems, and there's a barrier to entry with the controllers, and there's a barrier to entry. What is considered casual on those systems is not casual to non-gamers. And that's the big thing to learn there, because remember, hyper casual games like Angry Birds and the Match 3 games and Candy Crushes and all that, those are considered hyper casual games. Which 3 billion people play? How many hyper casual games can you point to on the Xbox, on the PlayStation, or on even the Nintendo Switch? There's a few on the Switch. But again, you know, like Clubhouse 51, I would consider, right?
That one's good.
That one's good. But you know what I'm saying? You see where I'm coming at it is there's not a lot of 4 to 8 player couch co-op games that anyone can play, no matter what your skill level.
Jackbox.
You know?
That's one.
Jackbox is the best one on mobile, and you can play it, you know, on the consoles as well too. And that's it. That's like the main. And how great is it, right? How come other people aren't doing stuff like that? I know the reason. Mike Builders, the CEO of Jackbox, buddy of mine, and I don't know what I should say or what I should. Let's just say it took them years and millions of dollars to build the infrastructure around the ability to create the infrastructure of Jackbox. It's no easy. That's why you don't see a million knockoffs. It's very difficult, very time consuming, very expensive, and it's not easy, you know? So, you know, kudos to them for figuring it out.
Tommy, I've got a quick pitch for you. All right.
Sure.
To bring the original Intellivision games to your new console, you should have like a Mario Party style board game where each mini game in between the move sets is an old Intellivision game.
That's a cool idea. I love that. Yeah. You do Astro Smash. It's all mini games.
Exactly.
Of the original. Would you use the exact original ones too?
Maybe, because it would keep the game small enough in the download, right?
Yeah. You do you have to catch. You put 4 frogs on for Frog Bog, and whoever catches 5 flies wins, or whoever hits 20 asteroids in Astro Smash win. Who's first, second, third, fourth? I love this. This is a great idea.
Yeah. I'm thinking Shark. You need the sharks.
Gotta have the shark. I'm completely stealing this idea. I will take complete credit for it. And I guess I can't now though, because this video will be on YouTube forever. But
you could announce it before
idea.
this video comes out, and then you could just say you did it.
Oh, there you go. No, that's a fantastic idea. I love that.
IntelliParty.
Putting that. I have guys. I have. You have now made the Wonka book. So this is all my notes. This is my notes of all everything to do with like Amico and everything. And so
I have to freeze that and slow it down.
People have tried. I've done that before. Yeah. There's probably a lot of swear words in there too.
I would run right out and get that. If like you said, IntelliParty, absolutely.
IntelliParty. That's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
IntelliParty, and then all mini games based on original Inti games. Yeah, you don't upgrade the graphics a little bit,
slightly,
but not
sure.
going to like full blown stuff like we've done with Astro Smash, but almost like have that same style and use the same code actually, and just give it a little bit of a paint job so it looks a little, a little cooler and stuff. Because you don't want to get it too complex, but we'll save those for the main versions. That's a cool freaking idea. I love that. Oh my gosh. You'll get your name in the credits, and you'll have to help me design it. We'll do that.
I'm
Me and
down.
you will design it together, and I'll even give you a discount when it comes out. No,
Perfect.
I'm kidding.
5% off is great.
10% off. No,
Look,
no,
I'll just buy it. You make it, I'll buy it. How about that? All right.
Yeah, you'll buy multiple copies of the physical just to see your name in the credits.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right. I think Chad's on the next question, right?
All right.
Yeah. So this one's going along with what you were talking about as far as your favorite memories and stuff and being co-op and everything. I got little kids, and so I can relate now. And some of the
How old are your kids?
she's 10 and he is 7.
Great.
So,
Okay.
yeah, perfect ages for these things, and it's tough to try to find stuff to play with them.
Are they on Roblox and Minecraft?
Mostly Minecraft, yeah. But you'd be surprised how hard it is on a Switch to just play 2 players at the same time on Minecraft. It's impossible.
My friend, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
That's why I created what I did.
Yeah. So going back to that, with the Amico, some of my oldest memories were trying to play sports games with my dad, like football and baseball. And he would just crush me because he didn't have that in him to just let the kid win.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
So I know that you've announced that you have some sports games and things coming out. Are there going to be some AI? Not that you don't want to play with other people, but so that you can learn how to play it.
I got 2 exciting things for you.
Okay.
About this. One is absolutely all the baseball games, football, all that stuff has AI. So you can. And in our baseball game, you can play up to 8 players, and you decide what the, like, if you want to play 8 players against a computer on super hard, you could do that where you're all like basically a fielder. Or if you want to play 4-on-4 or 6-on-2 or 7-on-1, whatever, it's any combination thereof, right? 2 people want to play against each other or on the same team against the computer. So we have that on that. So that's good news. But even cooler is our philosophy. I call it our Karma gaming engine. It's kind of like blast processing. It's not like a real like hardware thing or anything, but it's more of our philosophy. I'll give you an example. Let's take the game Pong. And we're actually doing this because we've remade Pong. And so let's say you come over my house and you've never played Pong before, let's say, and you've never played Amico. And we're playing Pong. Now, in a normal situation, you would have 0% chance of beating me. That's what video games have become these days, right? Even if you're like, even if you're like a huge Madden fan, and like I'm a Madden fan, you're a Madden fan, but you get the new Madden and you've had it for like 2 weeks, you'll kick my butt. Like it's gotten ridiculous.
For sure.
Fortnite, like again, I love Fortnite and everything, the success of it, but first of all, my mom would never play that ever, right?
Mm-mm.
You probably don't want your 10-year-old girl on there playing it, right?
She's not.
Right? So
They've
boom,
asked.
there you go. You just knocked out half of the world's population, right? And so, but to learn how to get good at that, you're basically a meat puppet for like the first month, right? And that's not fun for you, always dying and always losing and always getting your ass handed to you, you know? So this is why I came up with the Karma Gaming Engine philosophy, which, let's take Pong. You come over my house, if I score 3 times in a row on you, my paddle shrinks and yours starts to grow. And so what it is, it's a real-time, interactive, on-the-fly handicapping system. But again, it's not like a cheap cheating thing like Mario Kart. Oh, you're in last place, so we'll make you fastest and you get to catch up.
It's like a yo-yo. Tries to bring you to the front if you're in the
back. Yeah, that I don't like that. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's not how we're not doing the whole rubber banding thing. You know, if we were to have something like that, a kart racing game or whatever, we would put more for the person who was in last place. We would put more power-ups around in front of them or whatever. Like that's how we would handle that. Or Shark. I'll give you a perfect example for Shark because you brought it up. So let's say you're playing 4-player Shark, and Grandma's in last place. Grandma's like sucking, right? And so what we do is, and this is the unique way, because all of the games use our controller and the screen in a very unique way. So, for example, in Shark, what happens is we added 3 like bonus things in each of the levels. Sometimes they're different colored clams or treasure chests. It depends where, you know, the level. So let's say there's 3 different colored clams, and because we're in a coral reef. Well, what happens is those clams, when everybody's playing, they randomly open and there's a pearl that appears. And everybody dives for the pearl because it gives you a lot of points and it makes your fish grow the next level up, right? Because you're always trying to get bigger so you can eat all the fish that are smaller than you. So let's say Grandma sucks. Sorry, Grandma. And she's in last place. What happens is her controller vibrates to cue her, and then you look down, and when you look down, she'll see the color of the clam and the shape of the clam that's going to open next. So she gets a little bit of a hint, and she can start to move over there because no one's paying attention to Grandma, right? And so doo-dee-doo-dee-doo, she's going over there. And then the thing opens, and then bam, she gets the power up before anyone else. And it doesn't happen that way all the time. Sometimes Grandma's too far across the thing, or she gets eaten on her way to get there, or somebody catches on that Grandma's in last, and you know, hey, Grandma, what are you going over there for? You know, so but these are the types of things that we're thinking about in all of our game designs and all of our, again, you know, we're not trying to create like, oh, let's just create the hardest game ever and deal with it. No, how can we get, so William, let's say you had your 7-year-old son, your 10-year-old daughter, you and your wife, right? Family of 4. Let me ask you, and I could be, you know, let me ask you, give me the honest answer. Is there a video game that all 4 of you play at the same time?
Almost never. The only ones would be Mario Kart, and that's.
And your wife probably doesn't like it.
She likes Mario Kart, but she's not a big gamer though. She puts up with me, you know. And
well, that's the thing, right? She's putting up with you. It's like, okay, I'll spend time. What if I could guarantee you or tell you that every single game on Amico, every one of them, and we're launching with 30 games, by the way, and we got sports and recreation, board games, card games, dice games, retro reimagined games, original IPs, 2D side scrollers, we got shoot 'em ups, we got you know, everything, right? What if I could tell you that all of those games, any one of them, you could play all 4 of you together, and you didn't have to play for 5 hours. You could get in, play one, 20, 30 minutes, then you move on to the next one, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is. That's something. See, you're a hardcore gamer. Your kids are of age. Your wife's kind of, on the spectrum.
Yeah, she liked the NES.
She'll put up with you.
She's like that. But she's actually said she wishes that we would all play more board games together.
Exactly. And now you'll be able to play board games on Amico. And so that's the thing. So you just described the perfect situation that Amico is going to fill.
I have another quick example for you too that you're going to love.
Hit it.
We did not buy Mario Party on the Switch because you have to buy more Joy-Cons. You can't play it without Joy-Cons.
And they're $79.
They're a lot of money. So everybody has a phone, and it's going to come with 2 controllers. So we're already good. We already have everything we need.
You're good to go. You're good to go. And the 2 biggest things for me that I want to put out there to our consumers and our customers, the 2 biggest things, my focus with the whole, and I say this to everybody in our company, value and trust. Those are the 2 things that we want folks who buy an Intellivision Amico, we always want them to trust and that they're getting a lot of value. And that is so important. So when you talk, the trust factor is parents don't have to worry about blood, violence, guts, online predators, toxic communities online, bad language, violence. They don't have to worry about it. You say, well, Tommy, but all those other systems have parental controls. Yeah, try setting the parental controls for the Switch. Have fun doing that. But even if you do figure it out, how about you don't even have to worry about it though? What about not having, you have a 7 and a 10-year-old. And you probably have 10 different devices. You got your Netflix, you got your Disney Plus, you got your iPads, your tablets, you got your mobile phones, you got the kids got this, the internet, you got all these different things, and all you're trying to do, and maybe not you, but your wife, is she's trying to play like goalie, trying to block all of the adult content that's streaming in every second of the day, right? What if you had something that you just didn't have to worry about? You didn't have to figure out to set a parental control. You didn't have to log into a different account if you wanted to play a game and the kids wanted to play a game later and this and that. What if you just didn't have to worry about it at all, right? And so that's the thing is that's the trust factor. And the other trust factor is this, guys. We curate every single game. Let me say that again. Every single game is published and goes through us. We are not going to put out mediocre games. Now, what console would ever do or say that? You look up the Nintendo Switch, and I feel like I don't mean to keep bringing up the Switch, but we bring it up because you brought it up and because it's, considered the more family of all the other consoles, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at the garbage, it's getting to be like mobile, right? Where there's no quality. Remember back in the day with the NES that you had that Nintendo seal of quality?
They let a couple sneak through though still anyway.
Let me tell you something. By the end of the NES, that was out the window. I know because I worked on a bunch of those crappy games. You look up Color of Dinosaur on the NES. That was, I did the audio for that one. That was known as one of the worst games ever. But even by the end of it, guys, we've brought that back and we are sticking to it because that's the trust that we want. Because again, everything is priced so reasonably that if I can build that trust from a quality standpoint, then it's like, gosh, you know what? Every single Intellivision game I've gotten has been great. We've had fun with every single one of them. You know what? This is a new shuffleboard game. Grandpa's coming over. The bowling was great. Cornhole is amazing. You know what? $6.99 or whatever. Let's get it. Boom. They just become like instant purchases because people trust us. They know that we're not going to put shovelware on the machine, or they know that. So that's where the trust comes from. And then, of course, again, the value proposition. Now, people say to me, Tommy, $249. That's not very affordable now, is it? Let me give, and boy, that's only $50 away from a Switch, and $50 more than a Switch Lite. Like, you're crazy. Where's this affordability? Well, here's the thing. I could have easily sold the machine for $149, one controller, and no games. I could have done that, or one game, right? I could have done that all day long. But our market research shows that the audience that we're going for, again, not the hardcore gamer, but the families, they just want something out of the box. They want it to work out of the box. So we have two full controllers, the first video game system in 30 years that has come with two full controllers. I say full controllers because individual controllers, because you can, the Switch, you can break them apart. Okay, but that's not one controller. That's two smaller ones that you broke apart. The last system was the Super Nintendo. That 30 years. Can you believe it? It tells you all you need to know about where the video game industry has gone, though, right?
Yeah.
And so you get two controllers, the ability to hook up 8, right? All the games are $9.99 or less. And guys, do you remember how much the Nintendo Wii was?
$249.
15 years ago, with one controller and one tech demo. Let's face it, Wii Sports was great, but it was a tech demo. It wasn't a full game. Yeah. We have 6 complete games, 2 complete controllers, the ability to hook up 8 more devices for free. All games are $9.99 or less. Do you remember what the Wii sold for 15 years ago?
Wasn't it $249?
$249. And that was the 3rd biggest selling console of all time when it first came out. So again, for people, think of our audience. Our audience isn't thinking, should I buy a Switch or a Amico? They're not thinking, should I buy a PlayStation or an Amico? It's a completely different crowd altogether. The reason they're going to buy an Amico is because they're interested in all the unique stuff, simple, easy, affordable, multiplayer, everyone couch co-op, simple games, affordable, trust, value, etc., etc. I got news for you. My mom bought a Wii, right? Because she could go bowling. That made sense to her. My mom, and you guys probably know a whole bunch of people, families, who bought a Wii who normally would never buy a video game system, right? But they bought a Wii. My mom was one of them. Ask yourself if those same people, like my mom, did she buy a Switch?
Nope.
They didn't. It's a different proposition. It's more targeted to hardcore gamers, to people on the go who like to carry a system, a big system with them and stuff like that. So that's the thing. The Wii was the 3rd biggest selling console, 102 million units sold when it came out. It's now 5th on the list because PlayStation 4
just surpassed it. Yep.
Passed it, yeah. And so, but that's an amazing thing. And here's the thing, guys: approximately 30 to 35% of the people who purchased a Wii, again, my mom being one of these people, never bought a game for it.
Yeah, they just got the Wii Sports.
The software wasn't targeted to them. Nintendo isn't a company that is interested too much in putting out those casual, hyper-casual experiences. They went right back to their wheelhouse. Metroid, Pikmin, Smash Brothers, Zelda, Mario, Pokemon. Boom, right? Now, they did put out another follow-up. They put out Wii Sports Resort. And you know what happened to that, don't you? The number 7 sold video game ever of all time, right? So again, what does this all tell you? It tells you that my mom and people out there who don't play video games will absolutely spend $249 on a video game system if it's something that's simple and they can understand and they feel they're going to get a lot of value out of it. So I'm not worried about the price being at $249 because it's exactly where, and it's not like we're making tons of money off that. Again, think of the technology we have in here. These are like 2 modern cell phones, all the technology in here, right? Without the 4G, you know? And so, you know, we're barely making any money on the hardware, and we don't make much money on the software as well either. But when you start to do the number and the volume that we're going to do, well, then it gets fun and exciting. And by the way, we don't have to sell 50 million units to break even. We have to sell 200,000 units. So if we can sell 200,000 units,
that's going to be one of my questions, actually.
Yes, 200,000 units, we're making money. There it is. Woo, woo.
I had to fix your video feed. Hold on.
I'm like, I felt like I was in Tron there. I was getting derezzed.
You were just entering the matrix.
There.
Yeah.
So to finish out, oh no, not finish out. Will asked. No, we got this. The AI question was that one. So yeah. I'm just gonna open it up right here. Is there any other questions that Will or Chad, or if Tommy's got something for us as a question, we can do that right now. So go ahead, Will. Do you have anything else?
No, you really answered all my questions, and you went into pretty good in-depth explanations too.
Oh God, get that guy's face off the screen, please.
Oh geez, I see this. Oh, no. This guy, the guy that's actually doing this video, is cool. I like this guy.
He's funny, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was pretty
like,
cool.
No nonsense. And again, I'd love to talk to this guy too, because again, he had, you know, he had some very fair critiques and questions about it, but again, I bet if he watched this video that you know that we just did here, you know, I bet he'd learn a lot more. So here's my question to you guys then. Again, you know, you were on the fence, you know, again, fair enough, absolutely. Are you a little bit more sold today? Where do you sit today? Do you start to see the vision? Do you start to see like, hey, you know what? And even if the console, maybe it's not for you, but you can at least understand it better. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts now that we've talked.
Yeah, well, I know Chris is not on the fence because he already pre-ordered it.
Yeah. No, he was far gone. He's in Amico shill.
No, like, I'm definitely closer now. Like, the more and more I learn about this console, the more excited I am for it. Because again, like you're saying, it's tapping into my childhood. My best memories are sitting down with my brothers and playing with them. Now I can't even play Halo anymore with my friends. Right. So, yeah, the concept, what you're going for is very, very appealing to me. So the more I learn about it, the more excited I am for it.
Now, let me ask you, are you married? Do you have kids?
I'm married, don't have kids yet.
Gotcha. Imagine if you had a couple of young ones around too, right? You know, like this might be your kids' first video game console that they, you know, just like when you were how old are you? 30?
I'm 27.
27, around 30, 27. So you probably, did you grow up on the NES or Super Nintendo?
Actually, so my first console was the N64.
Wow, damn. Okay, I'm getting old.
Well, I mean, I think the Super Nintendo was out. I just didn't have it.
Right, gotcha. Right. So like that was your console when you were a kid that had all your greatest memories and things. Amico could be your kids' console that they grow up, and that's kind of, that to me is kind of exciting and fun, you know, to think about. OEB Pete, look at this guy.
Yeah,
he's
I guess
can I just say? I was going to say just really. Well, yeah. Well, go ahead.
You go ahead. It's fine.
I just wanted to say that what I love about OEB Pete is that he's so over the top positive about everything. And that, to me, it's just such a breath of fresh air, you know, because it's like, you know, modern YouTube, you guys know, I mean, YouTube is and social media and the cancel culture and the Twitter and everybody, like, it's so easy to just hate something out of the gate, right? And again, this is coming from the guy who was the bad cop on the TV show, but
right.
but you know, but it was always a balance though, right? There was always a balance on the show. Vic would say the good things and I would say the bad things, but sometimes it was reversed. Sometimes, like, I loved me some fishing games, and Vic hated fishing games. So it's like
Yeah.
boring. Like, real fishing's boring. Why do I want to play it in a game? But I loved fishing games. So it was always reversed. But then if we both loved something, then you knew it was really special. And if we both hated something, then you're like, oh, wow, that must really suck, right?
Yeah.
And so, but there's so many folks out there. And so Pete is like the anti-negative guy. He tries to find the good, and it's just such a breath of fresh air. And by the way, it all comes from the heart too. It's all like, it's not phony. It's not like fake positivity like most politicians have, you know. it's like real passion, and you can see it in his voice and his eyes. People should definitely check him out. He just went over 1,000 subscribers, and if you're looking for something that's just always positive, OEB Pete's your guy. Yeah, 1,300. That's great.
And this segment, since it's about Tommy, we are previewing now because we're going to be doing the OEB Pete review tomorrow.
Oh,
on the
cool.
next
We're
segment,
reviewing OEB Pete.
after this segment is over.
Okay.
So preview for the next segment. Good job, Tommy. Cool. You got us an advertisement to go off of for the next episode.
Yeah.
Chad, did you have one more question for Tommy?
Yeah, I'll finish out my thing as far as your question you'd asked. I was not really, I wouldn't say on the fence. I'm falling off the fence in your direction already, you know, because I wasn't sure about everything like that, just because, you know, with all the kids and stuff, money tight and everything. But I'm stepping away from the hardcore stuff because they just keep asking too much. They just keep asking. I'm starting to collect hard drives now instead of games because you can't have enough space, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely on board with this because I grew up, you know, I'm 46, so I'm closer to you. So I grew up with the Intellivision. This is my first thing, and so anything that reminds me of those good old days, sitting on the floor in front of the big console TV, that's a good time. TV. Yeah, exactly. With the wood grain console, wooden TV. So I just think it's going to be good. The one thing I was going to ask, just to try to help out, I saw that we had GameStop on there. Do you have any other places we can pre-order it besides GameStop?
Yeah. I mean, we have a exclusive offer right now going on fig.co. If you can type that in, that'd be really cool, because that's the only place that you can currently get the vintage wood grain, and we throw in a $25. There it is, right there. And this isn't a campaign. It's not a crowdfunding thing or anything, because Fig is like sometimes a crowdfunding site. But we do invest. You can see we've raised $5.5 million. But this is an investment site, so it's not like a crowd. It's not like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or anything like that. And so so you can put there's the Glacier White, Graphite Black, and then the vintage wood grain is above that. And look at all the things you get with it. So again, you get the 2 controllers, 6 games, but you also put a $25 gift card for the Amico Game Shop. We have a lenticular Running Man card, so it it moves, it does the animation, and I sign every card. And then we give you some video game soundtrack albums as well, 3 different ones. So yeah, that's going on right now, and it's $100. I want to be clear. It's $100, completely 100% refundable deposit. So you could put down $100 today and change your mind tomorrow, and especially with COVID going on, right? Like we wanted to make sure people got their money back when, if they needed to. Again, it's part of that trust. It's not like, hey, put your money down and then. Again, like some kind of Kickstarter or Indiegogo where kiss your money goodbye if it never comes out. This is $100. It's a completely refundable. But we need to do that so that we got an understanding of how many people are serious about it, right? So there you go. So fig.co, and you can see we got over 12,000 pre-orders, But that money, that doesn't add up. You say, well, wait a second, $250 times 12,000 doesn't equal $5.5 million. That's just the investment, because again, this is an investment website. So people can invest in the company through this website, And so as a special bonus, we said, hey, let's do some pre-orders on here as well for the folks. So, you know, there's like thousands and thousands of investors, and they're also buying machines as well too. So it's kind of neat. Different.
Yeah, I would say if you're anytime you're trying to do something like this that's brand new, you're climbing like Mount Everest. But if anybody can do it, it's going to be you, because you've got the energy and the you've always been like that ever since I've watched you on TV. You're the guy that shot out of a cannon. So if somebody can do it, I'm sure you can.
I appreciate that, because I thank you. That really does mean a lot to me, because, you know, I'm, you know, in like I've learned in life, and because, you know, I'm a big believer. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary The Secret or read the book, and you know, like it's all about positive mental attitude and positive thinking, and you know, I have a vision board right here that I look at every day, and you know, if you can believe it, you can achieve it, you know, and that's having that kind of confidence in yourself. And it's interesting you mentioned Mount Everest, because I actually use that a lot when I do like inspirational speaking, or I'll go to, you know, colleges or high schools or grade schools and talk to kids and stuff. I always say, you know, you want to set a goal for yourself, right? And you have to have that confidence and belief in yourself that you can do it no matter what happens. And I always say, like, my goals are always like mountains. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how I'm going to get to the top of the mountain. I just know that I'm going to be there. And I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what my route. And along that way, you set a goal for yourself. And it could be something small or large. You know, mountains come in different sizes, right? Mm-hmm. And I always say Amico is like Mount Everest. It's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done some pretty big things, right? So you're climbing that mountain, and you know what? The wind is going to be hitting you. There's going to be snow. There's going to be rain. There's going to be rocks falling down at you. You're going to have to change your course. There's going to be people pulling from your leg, trying to pull you down. There's going to be all these different trials and tribulations and barriers to get to the top. Everybody in the world is going to try to keep you down, keep you from getting to the top of that mountain. But if you believe you're going to be there, you will get there. And when you get to the top of that first goal, the top of that mountain, you have all the confidence in the world to just look around and go, you know what? Look, see that bigger mountain over there? I'm going to get to the top of that one as well. And so you have the confidence. So I never want people to think that, you know, the way I talk or the way I believe in myself comes from a place of like arrogance. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between like a narcissist and somebody who's arrogant, as opposed to somebody who believes in themselves and somebody who's like a positive thinker, right? Mm-hmm. And so and sometimes people don't understand that. They don't distinguish that, right? And they say, oh, this guy thinks he's going to be successful. What an arrogant douche, you know? And but it doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from believing in myself. And I wish more people in the world have this kind of, you know, and that's why I like to say in every interview I do, I try to get that message out there, is that you are in control of your own destiny, and don't let anyone else bring you down and be that rock that doesn't get you to that next summit. You're the one that can get there, and never, ever give up, and never, ever have people tell you that you can't do it. Oh, if you believe in yourself, you'll get there. You don't know when, you don't know how, but you'll be there, you know? And that's how I feel with everything I've done in my life and my career. Something my dad and my grandfather, you know, instilled on me in an early age. And here we are. I'm about 80% up this mountain, Mount Everest, and it ain't an easy one. You know, they don't call it hardware because it's easy. It's called hardware for a reason. And here we are doing this thing, guys, during the worst worldwide pandemic in the world. I mean, could we have chosen a worse time to try to raise money and come out with something that we have to make in China? right? I mean,
Yeah.
like every single odd is stacked against us. We're like Rocky Balboa up in this bitch. And so and so for the folks out there, even if you don't like the machine, at least root for the underdog. Root for, you know, we're David against Goliath here, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least we're the little engine that could, and we're not going to stop until we're running with the big boys, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the proposition. So even if you don't like us, or you don't like the machine, or you don't like me, at least root for it. Root for the success of the little guy and the underdog.
Well, the last thing I want to say is that when I'm sitting downstairs playing an Amico with not just me and my 2 kids, but also my wife, and all 4 of us are playing, I will know that you're standing at top of your mountain. All right.
I love that. I love that. You just gave me. I just teared up a little. I'm being.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
I got goosebumps when you just said that. That's a thank you. I appreciate.
We're gonna do it. We'll be there.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hey, my first thing.
And I want to see a video. I'm looking forward to watching the Gamer Dad video of you and your family.
Yeah, heck.
Playing and reviewing it.
Oh yeah, I'll even get my
Chad
kids
and I
on.
are going to review it together.
Show them, but I'll give their opinions too. My son, he watches enough YouTube, and so it's tough to tell him not to watch YouTube when he knows you're making videos. But but yeah, we'll get him on here too. We're all going to do it, man.
Chad, we got a collab to review this thing. All right, we got to do this together.
Yeah.
I'll do some segments. You do some segments. We'll put it in one big video.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll get my 3-year-old and my will be 2-year-old to play this console.
You'll see me in the window looking in.
You can play it on your phone.
Does your wife play games?
My wife?
No.
Or Will's wife?
Both of yours. Yeah.
Actually, my wife was just playing on the Switch, like on the couch this entire time.
Oh, that's funny. There you go. What was she playing?
Trine.
Trine, yeah. Cool. So she's a gamer then?
Mm-hmm. Not really.
No?
No, she'll play like.
I'm gonna send her this clip, Will. I'm gonna send her this clip.
Again for 6 months.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna send her that clip.
And is that because there's not enough content out there for her?
Yeah, she's very specific on what game she likes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There you go. Well, we'll get her on Amico.
My wife does Just Dance, Minecraft, and then Mario Kart, Zoo Tycoon, and those types of games. Yeah, lots of world builders.
She's gonna like Utopia then.
Ooh, liking the sound of that.
Yeah. You just keep mentioning all these games that I have in my box down here. So all the old stuff. That's making me tear up.
Yeah. It does. It brings you back, doesn't it? A time when we didn't have as much responsibilities as we do now.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. That was good stuff. And it can be more good stuff, so that sounds good.
All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Tommy?
No, we covered. That was 2 hours. We covered a lot.
Absolutely. People are going to be shocked when we drop a 2-hour video on a Monday. They're like, what?
Yeah, that's never happened.
This is a quick one for me.
Well, Tommy, thank you so much for doing this segment with us. And if you're still up for it after this, we're going to be reviewing OEB Pete on the next segment.
I feel like, well, I mean, I said my piece about OEB Pete.
Yes, you did.
I feel like because I'm friends with him. I feel like if I stayed, that it would just be biased, and I don't want to. I don't want to cloud your guys' thing, but just know that I love OEB Pete. I am a shill for OEB Pete. So I even have an OEB Pete T-shirt that I bought. So
nice.
He didn't send it to me. I wanted to help the cause. So so full disclosure, and I'm one of his paid premium members as well. So I love supporting positive folks like that. So and I'm looking forward to hitting subscribe on your page as well. I'm already a CHRILLCAST subscriber, but I want to get the Gamer Dad on my. I'm going to do
Chad the Gaming Dad. That's
Chad
it. That's
Gaming Dad.
That's the one. You'll find some old Intellivision stuff on there, but some new stuff. And geez, these guys know because they saw my biking video, but I'm going to try to go more retro. And I was talking about not liking what I'm seeing out of the new stuff, but that the one new thing that I was thinking about was this. So
Cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
you'll find lots of good stuff on there. Anyway,
Very cool.
So guys, to conclude this video, go subscribe to Chad the Gaming Dad. Go subscribe to Intellivision. Consider pre-ordering the Amico. Watch this video at least 3 times so we get at least 6 hours of watch time out of it. No, I'm
There
just
you
kidding.
go.
Heck yeah.
But yeah,
It's like
so-
one session of Call of Duty.
There you go. Yeah. Just put it on in the background, listen to it, get your mind wrapped around the Amico, okay? Give Tommy some chance here, all right? And
Yeah, Tommy convince you.
exactly. After you hear it the second time, you'll be convinced.
yeah.
100%. I was convinced after watching about 3 interviews with Tommy, and I was like, I'm on board with this
I think
concept.
I watched like the announcement video and it's like, oh man, I'm already starting to feel like I want this.
But thank you very much, Tommy, for coming on.
Awesome, guys. Thank
Very
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll sign off here. So as always, I'm Chris,
And I'm Will.
I'm Chad.
I'm Tommy.
and we will see you.
On next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.